Man, we've had such a conversation not on record. Oh, goodness, such depth. Wish you were here with us live. We did hit the record, and today we are sharing with you our Worthy Collective. Many times we have multiple members who are here in spirit, maybe not on video. They are checking in when they can, or like waiting for the replay to drop. So we are thankful if you're here with us live, if you're checking us out, if you've been a part of our 10-week challenge that we've done in the past, wherever you are, we're grateful that you're here today with us. And I want to introduce to you who we have live with us today. My sweet, oh my goodness, Lori. You know, there's something so significant when you meet somebody and you feel like you've known them for years. I will never forget meeting Miss Lori Love Jones in Michigan before she moved. And that moment when you meet somebody and you know there's something different about them, like so unique. And it started with her hug. And she said to me, "Oh, we've got to do a heart-to-heart hug." Just like we cross our arms one way normally, right? We normally hug like this. We go to like right shoulder to right shoulder. And she said, "Hey, left to left so that we can be heart to heart." And I remember having the chills when I met her. And this was years ago. And now this beautiful human decided to uproot her massage business that was absolutely kicking here in Michigan to move to Nashville to create the life of her dreams, the opportunity to serve in ways she's never served, and people's lives that were serving their own gifts. And she has done that. And now she is stepping into a place of teaching, coaching, and lifting others in ways that, oh my gosh, it's such a treat being able to know her, learn from her, and I'm so completely grateful. And so, Miss Lori, what are a couple of things that you would love to share today about yourself that could be an inspiration to somebody watching?
Well, thanks, Mags. I can't take all the credit for the heart to heart hug. I study with a Native American shaman, and he asked me to pass that on because when we go right to right, it's exchanging liver to liver energy, and liver to liver is frustration, anger, irritation. So he asked me if I would pass on this thing that he had learned, and I was like, yes. So it's been an honor to be able to do that and to share it with the world. So let's see. I would say, I wake up in gratitude and I go to bed in gratitude. So that's really one of the strengths that I have, the muscles that I've really developed and toned, and I flex a lot. And no matter if it's, something heavy or light or big or small or something that I reflect on, it's an opportunity to grow and to become a better person and become the best version of myself. I'm all for it. So definitely gratitude. It just gratitude. I've heard someone say gratitude is like the fuel for miracles
Mm.
in your life. So I love it. And another thing that I like to share is that to be kind to yourself. And when you're truly kind to yourself, it's also a muscle and you can be kind to others.
Wow.
So those
That's
are those are two things that I can think of right now. We could talk for days and
We
just have.
could, and because you're a master of that space, because there's no way that you could serve for over 30 years in physical massage, like physically serving someone, and your sessions are usually, 90 minutes, 2 hours, that like physical work to get their body at more balance, and such working out different areas of pain and such intense work. And And a side note that's so remarkable, and one of the things that I love the most about Lori, like there's so many, and what we've all treasured in this mastermind that we've been a part of is that she is the most resourceful person I've met on this earth. That you can tell her something and she's like, huh, let me see about that. And she either has an oil, an herb, she taps into all of her resources of people who come around her and given her tools and resources and people. She introduced me to Charlotte, her mentor, and we did an interview with Charlotte, and she's part of our founding members who may not be able to join us on any Sunday ever because she's teaching. She said maybe in January she can join us because she teaches every weekend. And we had an interview with her, and that opportunity to meet someone like Charlotte, I can't say in my lifetime I feel like I've ever met someone to the depth of someone like Charlotte that has, as a entrepreneurial, like she was a corporate woman, single mom of 5, and then pivoted and pivoted and pivoted and kept pivoting and didn't allow what, her birth date, the day of her birth, change what she was looking for, or the excuses that some people say, well, I can't because I have 5 kids. They were her reason why. And to meet someone like that was because that's who Lori is. Like, here, you need to know this person. Here, you got to meet this person. And it's no wonder that we have Christina on the line with us, part of our founding member, because of the introduction from Lori. And so, Christina, would you mind sharing a little bit about what you do? I'm sorry I didn't prep you. I do have your book on my desk, and I am halfway through it. It is absolutely incredible,
Okay.
incredibly fed up to wonderstruck Christina Kashep. Did I pronounce it, Les?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, good. You know, when you never hear somebody's last name pronounced, because we always talk back and forth, I'm like, oh no. And so, Christina, do you want to share about what it is that you do? I know we've got to do an actual community spotlight on you, but do you want to share a little bit about you? Because I met you through Lori.
Lori is a great connector,
Master.
connector of hearts. Yes, so thankful for that. And yeah, I think that maybe that's a part of my win also, is that things have been shifting a bit, like in terms of what my focus is. And I've just been leaning into trusting that and taking away the mental process of it and just leaning into what's working and what's being asked of me more versus like what my mind thinks I should be doing, right? Like, I felt that I need to take a break from real estate. And so 10 days ago, I just, was like, this is what feels right to me. And I'm just going to do that. And the destiny card readings, which I do, which is a part of one of the things that I really enjoy doing, um, has been coming more naturally, and also being asked to teach meditation more. So I'm just leaning into what's coming naturally and taking my plan out of it. Do you know what I'm saying? Taking my ego
That,
mind out of the equation.
that is hard. That is hard. What would you say? I mean, you're making it sound like, okay, I'm doing this, yet that doesn't come natural to most people to allow that direction, that like you're taking your ship and you're still moving, but you took a different turn. How would you say that? Is it through meditation? Is there some different things that you're giving yourself that aware? I mean, I know your awareness is heightened. Like yours is like you couldn't write a book if your awareness wasn't where it is.
Well, I think we go in and out of, being more aware and less aware, right? Depending on how aware we are in the moment. but
True.
but but yeah, I think that it's also just realizing that because, for example, one of the reasons I went in the direction I did with real estate was because I was helping friends out. I was just helping them because I had experience in it. And people around me were like, you should get your license. You're so good at this, yada, 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 right? So I was like, okay, I'll get my license here. And I did that for a couple of years. But really, what feels juicy to me is helping people on a spiritual, emotional, um, mental level, and every way, energetically also. Um, and that's what brings me happiness, right? And the other thing was more about, you're really good at this, you're doing it anyway for people, you might as well, support yourself with it also. And I kind of went with that, and people were suggesting, but then I realized also that it's more like tapping back into, like, I tried that. Okay, I tried it because people close to me suggested. And certain parts of it worked, and certain parts of it are like, this just isn't me, actually. I'm not that person also. I'm this other person. And not that we can't have more sides than one, but just feeling into really what my heart wants. And then just saying, yes, I think it really is the right thing to just take a break from this and then see how I feel. And the parts that are coming naturally, like the readings, to trust that that's the direction that not only that I feel most connected to, but that the universe is also telling me, you're meant to do this, you're meant to stay in this realm of work that you have been doing, for the last 20 years, and put your energy here. So I think it's more just listening and trusting and letting go of the idea of the world, maybe the idea of what, seems practical,
Mhm.
and trusting really what my heart is calling me to do.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. This is so wild, so intentional and so incredible. Um, there's a number of people, I won't name the names of podcasts or YouTubes, just multiple. And I'd probably say 85%, maybe 99% are is because of Lori. She'll be like, hey, and I literally have a system now where I have in the notes of my phone. So this is a point for everybody. If you have someone in your life like Lori, and if you don't, then you need Lori in your life. And you need to be a part of our membership so you can gain all of her gifts that I put in the note section of my phone every time she sends me a video, whether it's a short, a YouTube, whatever. And so that I can go through it because they're all great gifts. And she would send me something, or I'd catch up on something else. Or, when you listen to a short video and then another one pops up, the message for me over the last like probably 5 to 7 days, I always feel like there's a theme for me.
Yeah.
Was exactly what you're talking about, Christina. It was the fact that so much time in life, people want to say, you're a chef. Oh my gosh, you make the best meals. Oh my gosh, you have to open a restaurant and you got to do this and you got to do that and you did it. And you. And they're not necessarily the people you would trade places with. You admire them, you love them, they know pieces of you. But then somebody who is, say, a chef, like wants to cook for people but doesn't necessarily want the heaviness of the restaurant, the hours, all the pieces to serving in such a way that takes away from their ultimate joy and pivoting in this world, because they can still make food, they can still serve people, they can actually monetize it in a different way that doesn't take away their joy, because it's not necessarily the restaurant. Like what I'm hearing is the real estate was great and you were serving and helping people, and you still can, but the intensity of whatever was in that business was not bringing you the joy that your readings and meditation, the skills that you've done, like it sounds like almost naturally, like it's come natural to you. And well, it became, from reading your book, it wasn't something natural, yet you've leaned into it when you needed to. And that was the message I keep getting. And I think it's fascinating because I had interviewed Karen this week for the spotlight in our community, and how she has different modalities. And so many times in life, people are like, well, why do you have that? Well, because that's a piece of me. Well, why do you have that? Because that's a piece of me. It's the creative spirit that we don't have to do, just lock it in. You have to do this, and that's all it is. It's the expression of, well, that created that opportunity, that opened that door. And nowadays, we don't have to close all these doors. It's still open. Your license is probably still there. And if something presented itself, you would allow it, or you would say graciously decline. So I think there's such a great message in that awareness and really asking ourselves where that joy comes from and being super careful of our circle and making sure that it's not that like projection. So many people can project things on us, and I wouldn't necessarily trade places with them. Like, oh,
So
you should do
true.
this,
So
you should do
true.
that. And I'm like, I love you and I appreciate, but the should can bring some extra shame because they wish they could, would, or, in that opportunity. And then they're putting it on me. And I'm like, oh, hold on a second. So that reassessment, I think, is really powerful. Thank you.
I want to speak on something, because when you say it's hard, I hear people say this all the time. Well, it's hard and it's hard and it's hard. We really have to step back and really be conscious of the words that we're using. Because yeah, it can be challenging, or like little Johnny, when he's never ridden a bike and his dad's like, "Come on, let's get up on here and ride it." He'll have his training wheels. Well, I don't know, it's hard. So yes, to remove that verbiage and say, "Okay, you know what? I've never done this before." Asking, "Okay, please help me, guide me," instead of already claiming it's hard, putting the stake in the grass and say it's hard and I won't be able to do it. So I invite the word ease, allowing it to come with ease and help, and ask for guidance from God, source, the angels, whoever you connect with, to say, you know what, show me, guide me, lead me, and you will be led. So
I couldn't agree more. I did catch myself, and I'm really glad you reminded me of that, because there was a
we
point
help each other. We help each other in this community.
well, and that's the point of making sure that we have somebody that says, hey, is that really what you meant? Like that's the part where, with no judgment, like, is that really what you meant? Because there are spots that can be hard, but then what's hard? Define it. You know what I mean? Because then it was just something we made up in our mind. And that was something I caught myself on, that I said to Lucy probably a few months ago. I'm not sure. It was recent, within this year, I should say. And I said something like, we can do hard things. And then I stopped myself and I was like, what? Is that really what I want? Because when you say that, you're like, you have to get this masculine, like, I'm going to kick some ass energy, where it's like, what if we had a little more ease?
Yeah.
Like, yes, so true.
And to be in the piggyback off of Christina is the awareness of what is happening now.
Mhm.
What do we have the joy? What's on how is our joy meter? What is the number on our joy meter? And if it's not bringing us joy, let's shift.
Yes,
What's showing up?
100%.
What's showing up? 'Cause
100%.
it's going to be different than a week ago or a month ago. It's like, oh, this is cool. So Christina, so much courage in how brave you are to say, you know what, time out. This is really what's bringing me joy, and I'm getting phone calls for it. So let's do this. So
Blessing, such blessing.
Yes,
living it
trusting.
now.
Thank you.
Yes.
Feels good.
And I love that you came with wins. Like that is such a treasure. And that is something that when we're really able to find those wins for ourselves, that's when the true growth happens, because then you find it's what you're looking for. You get exactly what you are looking for. And so in this moment, before we do an introduction with Karen, as long as you're not driving, anybody who's watching this on the replay, I'm going to give you an exercise. Karen's going to laugh because she knows it really well. Lori does too. And I even think I did it to Christina because it's so powerful. Whenever I am in my stuff, and, we all have those stuff moments where it's challenging or frustrating personally, professionally, or health, whatever, that I'm going to be working and leaning into Christina because she's a master in meditation. And so that can definitely be a tool. Yet this quick vision factor, and I love it because, like, I'd probably dare say anytime I've been working with Lori that she's facing something, all of a sudden she'll be like, Max, I just saw. And I was like, because she was looking for it. She was dialed in and choosing to look for something different. And it is the most powerful experience. So we'll do this real quick. Close your eyes wherever you are. And when you open your eyes, find the color red. Good. Found something red? Okay. Oh, I can say, is your lamp red, Karen?
It's pink.
Okay. I couldn't really tell. It was hard to say. Okay, close your eyes. When you open your eyes, find the color yellow. Good. One more time. Close your eyes. When you open your eyes, find the color fuchsia. Did you guys get what you were looking for?
Yes.
You get what you're looking for. And so sometimes we have to really reset ourselves because we're not able to see it or find it. And I love it. One time I was on with a client and I knew she was traveling. She was in a hotel room. And hotel rooms can be pretty neutral, but I happened to see this painting on the wall behind her. And so she was getting real, like she was just in her junk. It was just heavy, frustrating. And we did this little exercise and she's like, Maggie, you don't understand. I'm in a hotel room. I can't find the color fuchsia, like something like really bold. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, you might need to get off your and find it. And she's like, you don't understand. I'm in a hotel room. And I was like, get up and walk around. And she was like, she got up, she turned, she saw the picture and she's like, we get what we're looking for, but sometimes we do have to get up. We have to move from the location where we were rooted, we were stuck, and literally get up. We can go outside and ground ourselves. We can get up and meditate. We can get up and like literally email, like get down on your knees and pray. There's so many ways and sources to pivot our energy. And it's not just our mind, it's the state, like moving our body in a different state. So that was just a little something that if you've not worked with me, when I'm like, okay, close your eyes. We're coming to a moment to reset because that goal setting opportunity is available and there's so much more available. Yet sometimes we just get so fixed. We get so fixed on something. So,
Well, I love this sign right here. It says find the good.
Find the good. Absolutely.
And it is a pivot. It is a pivot of the mindset and constantly. So.
Oh no, did we lose Karen?
No, but I had to show you my sign because
Today I will choose joy.
Oh, I can't see it.
Really? Oh,
where'd you go?
bummer.
She saw it. You saw it? I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Her sign said, today I will choose joy.
So true.
Yeah.
So I know you only have a few minutes to be live with us and then it's recorded. So we'll get you the replay. So introducing Karen, we spotlighted Karen this last week on who she has been, her career. She's now in retirement, busier than she's ever been in her life, I believe. And she's in transition down to Florida to her other home. And so what would you like to share today? And do you have some wins? Do you want to, is there something specific you want to share about you?
Gosh, I have a few wins today. So, I think, and I posted them this week. One of them specifically was, trying to get everything done here, closing up for the winter before I move to my second summer house, I call it. And that'll be new and fun because I haven't even seen it yet. We bought a mobile home sight unseen, only on video with my friends. So we're excited. We're excited and all the possibilities of what's going to happen there. I'm trying to go with an open mind because there's so many people and I love to help people. That's what Christina said. And that's one of my things. And let me tell you, there's a lot of people that need help down there right now. So I'm very excited to get there, nervous, but excited. And one of the things that I did, well, I got some outside tours done. So that was cool. But I have a couple of businesses that I work in, and one of them, one of the gals, I had told somebody about the Worthy book about the time I was reading it. And then she read it and she's now back in this group telling the group. And somebody reached out to me and said, I really think you would be great at this and you can lead this group and as we go through this. And I thankfully got some coaching out of Maggie and she's like, what do you feel about that? I'm like, absolutely not. I am like right to here with what I want to do. And the old me probably would have said, oh, sure, yeah, let's add one more thing. And then I'm just overwhelmed and frustrated and not serving anybody as well as I could be, especially myself and my family. So it's really been nice to go, no, no, no. That's probably one of the best things I've learned so far is that and taking care of me and my deserve and worth level have gone up.
So powerful and such a great space to recognize what brings you joy and your capacity. In the book, talking about our capacity, and there's certain times when we reach capacity, and we must pivot through those spaces. And this is so wild. I have notes, so I'm going to jump in a minute. But this is so perfect because we did the interview this week sharing your multiple businesses for health and the different modalities and places that you've stepped into. And the greatest gifts is the fact that you're able to maneuver through with travel because your businesses go with you and they're
Yeah.
all in a space of service. And the win that you have finding this home sight unseen, it's because of the human that you are and that you've been, that you've created these relationships that, if I understand correctly, there was a neighbor that called you and said, Karen, listen, we've got this available for you. And they went and cleaned
Yeah.
everything to prepare for you.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
that happens to people who are humans in such good ways that doesn't happen to everyone because they don't always treat people with such a servant's heart. And because of who you were when you met them, how you've been consistent, that they showed up for you. And now you're showing up sight unseen in such, I just think it's such a precious opportunity that when we are open to our possibilities, it's far greater than we could ever imagine. Because
Yeah.
that was not in your, that wasn't in your, like you didn't have hands on everything. And I know we're all as women kind of like to have control on a few things. Maybe it's
Right.
just me,
Nope.
and that all came about. And to hear about that, that opportunity, it's such a blessing.
Yeah.
So very cool.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm excited. Yeah. Living in alignment. Absolutely. And I'm excited. I really am. I don't know, the next 6 months, we'll see what's gonna happen and all that's possible. And, it's, let me tell you, you should see my, I'm a planner and I've got like everything planned out. Trying to get out of here by Wednesday morning at like 7 a.m. or earlier. So,
It's gonna come together. It's gonna come together.
I
And you might have
know.
chats for help. You may, which is not always our, it will, and you give yourself grace through the whole process.
Right.
So
Right.
cool.
Well, I
So
thank
before
you.
we jump in, thank you for
Yeah,
sharing.
'cause
Appreciate
I
it.
need
So
to,
if you guys want to get to know more about what she does, how she does it, we have it on our YouTube, and I'm actually creating a space in our courses in our membership so that you can have a spotlight and see more about our founding members, our guides, and then we'll be spotlighting more of our members. So before I jump in to hand this over to Lori for, we've already kind of defined our wins but the power of that. I wanted to share, this is so interesting. In this 100 days of Believing Bigger, this was my gift to my one-on-one clients, and I'm now going through this the 5th time. Never, ever did I finish a journal in my life, ever, if I admit. And so today I thought this was so wild. Listen to this. You are multifaceted. For the one whom God has sent speaks the words of God, for God gives the Spirit without limit. John 3:34. It's not God's intent that we simply read about miraculous encounters in a book that is 1,000 years old. He intends that we be the book, the living word, a living manifestation of God's unlimited abilities and promises. In Romans 9:17, God says, I raised you up for this very purpose, that I might display my power in you and that my name might be proclaimed in all the earth. At times we may feel too flawed for the big vision God has given you, or overwhelmed, don't like that word, by the various paths and possibilities. You are a masterpiece, an essential component in God's master plan. Your magnificence isn't meant to be one-dimensional. No, you have multiple gifts, talents, and abilities, complete with endless opportunities. You're created in the image of an unlimited God. It's time to unapologetically step into your gifts, unleash your superpowers, and give credence to your dreams and desires. After all, God gave them to you. You never know or even able to comprehend all that God has in store for you. Walking with God is a never-ending adventure, one where we never stop discovering how He's handcrafted us in His unlimited image and purpose. And I thought, how perfect to understand that the women who are here live, oh, yay! And Tam just joined us. She was at a concert with her students, and she just joined us. Oh my gosh, Tam, I was just reading about my day 30 is you're multifaceted, and talking about how all of us have so many different modalities and gifts. Your time is perfect. We were just going to
Oh,
jump
wow.
into some messages. You want to share just a little bit about you?
Sure. I lost my voice today singing in church.
Oh, no.
I've got the same, yuck that's going around. All my students have had it, and it's so funny that I made it this long without getting it. So I'm Tamara Wright. I am from Upwardly Vocal, and I am an accidental entrepreneur with a vocal studio and acting studio. And I was just seeing some of my students perform. And so delightful. It's so fun to see them on stage, to see whether or not they follow my direction. So, but yeah, so I am also really interested. One of the unique things about my business is I support the moms by going to them, because I feel like moms are so, women in general get underrated and underestimated and are overtasked. And I feel like moms just don't need one more thing on their list that their kids to help them pursue their dreams. And it's a skill and a gift that I have with my background in performing as a director and and producer in radio, TV, film, and stage. And so that's one of the things I help is, and I've never advertised. It's all word of mouth. It started with one friend that I said I'll help, and then it just grew from there. So now I have a studio of over like 20 students, and it's not bad for being part-time. So, and I homeschool 3 of my kids. One of them is just graduated with an associate's degree in college, and we're doing the college search for her for musical theater right now. So, and the other 2 are in, one's in middle school and the other one's in high school. So
So incredible.
busy.
Awesome.
Your timing was amazing. And I was literally just talking about the multifaceted. So incredible. Thank you for jumping in. I know it was a juggle.
Yeah,
And I love your second office, your car.
I know you love it. I'm always in my car because I'm always driving. So,
Yeah,
and I love it.
exactly.
So,
So we hope that when you see this, whether you're new to us or you've taken, like you're only on replay, you recognize that none of us have the exact life. We all are like maneuvering through what we can, what we're doing, learning our gifts, our purpose, and really stepping into those spaces that bring us the greatest amount of joy. And when you're around people that you remind you of that opportunity to say yes, to say no, thank you, to really stand in that opportunity, because there's such a treasure in that. So I want to hand it over. We were talking today, the message today was rising, shining, and celebrating your wins and unlocking your inner power. And so I want to hand it over to Miss Lori, because I know we've done, some of this, but if you want to share and be able to share some extras.
Well, yeah, I think it's not normal in society to celebrate wins. We're taught, don't, gloat, or don't, boast, or don't make yourself above anyone. And it's really sad. So we have created a space here where we celebrate wins. Because as we have learned, that when we celebrate wins, it gets our momentum going, it builds our confidence and gratitude. And all that is a recipe for success and for joy and happiness in feeling good and in your cells, Hey, just so you
And
know,
worth. And our
and
worth.
worth,
Yes,
and worth.
100%.
Do you know that all our cells talk to each other? So hello, pay attention to what's going on in here. So it's better to celebrate your wins rather than to beat ourselves up. I had a great conversation last night with a friend of mine's friend, and he's getting ready to quit a job that he's been wanting to quit for 2 years. And I said, well, when are you doing that? Are you putting in your 2 weeks? I was just, I don't know the background. He goes, no, I'm quitting this week. And I said, okay, let our mutual friend know. I said, we are celebrating this. And he looked at me like I had 6 heads, and then he hugged me for about 15 seconds. And he goes, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. So if you can relate to this, something you're wanting to do, and you're finally having the courage in to step into it, find people to celebrate. We are the people to help you celebrate. So if you're on the fence of, trying to find new people in your life and supporting you in the right capacity, join us. Join us. I know for myself this week, I had to decline a couple things. We outgrow people. And as we give ourselves more step more into more confidence within ourselves and value ourselves and our worthiness, we outgrow people. And it can be sad. It can be, my heart was heavy this week. And, I declined a couple things from people that I no longer see myself hanging around with, and it felt so empowering. And at the same time, I also had some, heaviness dealing with some personal stuff, and I was able to reach out to some friends, and they're like, listen, we're here to support you, whatever you need. And I'm telling you, support is where it's at.
Oh,
Right,
100%.
ladies? I mean, thank God we had.
Absolutely. Can I piggyback on that for a second, Lori? Because you were talking about sometimes you have to let people go, but sometimes this whole process, this whole time that we've been meeting, the whole time that we've been growing, it has really impacted my household too. And my husband and I are communicating on a level. He knows that my meeting time with my ladies, like he'll bring me my coffee and he'll just like duck out of the room. But he has been watching and paying attention, and he has been inspired to work on things with himself that he hasn't quite known how to get started. And then my oldest, like I said, she is 19. She's about to launch, right? And she's paying attention, and she's observing, and she is asking questions about investing in her future and that sort of thing. And then my 16-year-old is also doing that. My 14-year-old is another story, but I will say thank the heavens for all of you ladies who helped me get through that 14-year-old boy, because I don't speak boy, and it's been a challenge. And some of you have input and insight that I don't have. And so the diversity of this group, the eclectic background of this group, really contributes to our wealth of knowledge that allows us to grow and expand. And I just so appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
I could not agree more. And it's so fascinating to me because sharing from the background of knowing what support does, it gives you wings. It gives you an absolute wind beneath your wings to lift you when you feel like you're like, oh no, I can't do that. Oh my gosh. And depending on your support system, like Tamara was saying, you know, we're married to, or we're dating, or a roommate, or a friend, or a neighbor, or someone we work with that their vision may not be there, or they may not be a dreamer. So we have to really look at our surroundings. And when we do get that support and we're able to lift above, we're able to have an awareness of what's happening and catch things. I believe, Tamara, you caught things so much faster and you were able to dial it in so quickly. And she had compliments from different people that you never hear that. It's usually miscommunication, all sorts of like just a whole nother array of problems. And the opportunity to say, wow,
Yeah.
the way you handle it, your communication, your choices.
The openness. I'm willing to be open because I have a safe place where I can be vulnerable, work through some of those things and build myself back up so that when I present myself in situations that challenge us, I'm able to then present my best or my strong suit and stand my ground, and also, but in a loving, compassionate way. And so some of the feedback that I got was just incredible. Nobody has ever told me, wow, your parenting is fantastic. Like, how many people hear that feedback when their
Ever.
child has made a choice that has gotten them in a little bit of hot water?
Right.
And I'm like, you know, it was, and honestly, and it was because my husband and I both, we met on the same page. We've had prayer dates every day for the past couple of weeks, which I absolutely love. And I'm teaching him how to celebrate wins. When is your husband or spouse or significant other or even a coworker, when have they celebrated wins? It's like it's once it becomes second nature to us, then we spread that joy everywhere. So it's been a wonderful blessing. And I have to give a shout out to Christina because I'm in the middle of reading her book right now and I love it. Love it.
Good.
So
So many.
powerful. So powerful.
So good.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
I think what was so precious was, oh, okay, I gotta see if I can do this. Sorry, Lori, I'm going off script.
Honey, everything's in divine order.
Okay, so Tamara called me and she's like, Mags, find your book, page 47. I've seen that there are only two things to fear in the process of healing: the fear of vulnerability and the rigidness of my thinking. Both of these barriers to the healing that needs to take place. The ego is the part of us that is rigid and afraid to be vulnerable. That is why we have to be smart and find ways to sneak past the ego so that we can heal all the aspects of ourself deeply. I mean, I was like, oh, I'm not there yet. Like,
mic drop.
that was a mic drop.
Yeah.
One day maybe I'll have a button for that, but like, so incredible. So absolutely incredible. Sorry.
So good.
Oh,
you're
missing you.
breaking up. You broke.
Garbled. I love technology. I love technology.
I love technology.
Angels of
said I
technology.
love that she called you and told you to open the page. That's so sweet, and you read it together.
Oh, it was
Hey.
incredible. And she shared it with her husband. And I believe that's part of the
Yes.
shift, because
Yes.
it wasn't me, it wasn't Tamara, it was in print, you know, it was ink, old school ink, someone else said. And when she shared that, I believe that's part of the little, like those little tiny turns, you know, that were happening. And I mean,
Yeah.
and that's where I believe wholeheartedly, and you guys were so precious last week to send me flowers to celebrate me for the progress we're making. And I haven't gotten to the place where I'm truly celebrating myself yet, because there's so many freaking steps to the process.
You will.
Yeah,
You
but
will.
remember, no matter how big or how small.
Well, and what was such a treasure is you were recognizing a big step, like, and it, you know, the biggest step was like actually finishing the website and having the app and then, you know, these things. And so having other people around you to say, hey, listen, let's celebrate, you know, and it's
Come
what
up
I
behind
stand
you.
for, and how hard, and that's not challenging sometimes, we, you know, we make it harder on ourselves than we needed to. And I was literally walking today, shocking, listening to somebody that Lori sent me. And literally the message was talking about celebration. And I literally was on my street with my dogs, tears down my face, like,
Cleansing tears, cleansing tears. Absolutely.
Do
Cleansing
you hear
tears.
it? Do you hear it?
Yeah.
Are you listening?
are you
Yep.
getting it? Are
Are
you
you
Yep.
getting it? Are you
Goodness gracious.
serious? Yeah, yeah.
So incredibly powerful, so
Yes.
powerful. And so this is what we stand for. We stand in that space and that gap that if you're wanting to do something different, somebody asked me the other day, oh, Max, I would love to be a part of your group, but I don't own a business. Okay. Okay.
You don't need one.
Is there something that you want or need to do differently in your life? Because we're all different with that vision of what it is that we want or need at this time. Sometimes it's our health. Sometimes it's relationships. Sometimes it is a business. Sometimes it's our career, or it's like Lori said, that deciding that this is not acceptable any longer and I need to make, and my whole things are pivot, just a tiny pivot sometimes, like a little different, you know, like what direction do we need to go to bring more joy, to have an opportunity, the shift, to have that opportunity. And when you have people around you that are like, sister, you freaking got this, let's go, because there's other people around there doing it too. And it doesn't always look like motion, like intense, like, you know, like a race necessarily. If you take it back and realize the only way to be even on the track, you have to have shoes, you have to check the weather, you have to decide what you're going to do. There's so much prep, but when you're in and you understand there's so many other people who've already got their tennis shoes, they got their equipment, they're doing it. They're like, hey, I'm going to come around again. You ready? Let's go. There's such a difference when you're surrounded by others who are willing to keep moving. Sometimes we might need to sit for a second and regroup, and that's a space of meditation, of stillness, of being present and realizing and acknowledging your body. Like, I can't tell you how wild it is to have the professional massage therapist here, Miss Lori, who's done it for years, understands the value, interviewing Charlotte, who said that she was a corporate woman, the height of her career, and got a massage, and it changed the trajectory of her entire life.
One
Wow.
massage,
One massage,
one choice. She made.
Wow.
one physical choice to serve herself in such a treasured way. And so I finally took the gift from Lori, I hate to say how long it took for me to get this, to schedule this out. And I actually took Lucy with me, and she had not as long of a massage. And the whole time, all I could think of was what gratitude that this person, it was a woman who was like literally a couple times working on some spots. I was like, dang, man, I've been hanging on some stuff right here, because I was like, that's sore. And I was like, what am I allowing to be the weight on my shoulders that doesn't need to be there? What bags am I carrying that I need to freaking put down, because I don't need to be carrying this garbage with me? Because she was working so, and all I could think of was the gift of touch, the gift of resources, the like sitting still for that amount of time and just being absolutely served in such a way that it's not, I don't, you know, like so many people are like, oh, it's self-care. I'm like, dang, that is like mental health
It's a
in that.
necessity. It's a necessity in this day and age.
Oh, and just realizing just so many gifts and how that shifted Charlotte, and interviewing her this last week to know that that was that one thing. So with our time, let me look through my notes.
I wanted to say you don't need to have a job because it's a full-time job to take care of ourselves. So if you want to, if you don't have a job, a paying job, it's yes, facts,
100%.
full-time
And I
job.
don't, even if you're a housewife or a mom, you run your own corporation.
100%.
You
Yeah.
run your own corporation.
Well,
Yeah.
and I think what's really interesting in this conversation of inviting others to what we've created, because we've kept this into a different state, learning so much from the Worthy Collective that we did, that was a 10-week, close the door, thank you, sorry, can't, you know, we can't add you at this point. We've tweaked a lot of things and learned from it. And the absolute joy and understanding that if you don't save time for yourself, I don't
No
care
one.
what age you are. I don't care if you have 14 jobs. That's pretty extensive, but you know, 3 or 4 jobs. You have kids, you don't have kids. You are an empty nester, you're married, you're not married, you're dating, you're not dating. Like, regardless, to save 1 hour of time. Now, if you can't join us, like Charlotte won't be able to join us because she's actually teaching, but scheduling the time to save so that you can plug yourself in, whether you listen or watch. You're, you know, like, where are you investing in yourself? And that's something that's been really interesting to think about, all these times and spaces of investing in yourself, whether it is a routine in the morning, it's a routine as your workout or your meal planning, your evening, your faith, your, you know, like, how are you investing in yourself to better yourself? Because there's no competition in this group whatsoever. We're competing with ourselves, and that's enough. And it's who we were yesterday and how we're showing up for our best self. Christina, would you like to share?
Yeah, sorry, we're traveling and it's a bit in and out, but I've been able to hear everything. Um, so yeah, this is just so powerful, and I love how you are lifting everybody up in their gifts, with with full hearts, Like you said, there's no competition and just everyone shining fully, full bright, their light fully on. And it feels so good, to be here and to witness others and their power and to just see everybody being uplifted and sharing their gifts. So thank you.
Oh, it's such,
Thank you so much.
it's my honor in realizing that we're so much greater together.
Mm.
We're so much greater together. And that space where in our intimate mastermind group and recognizing how intense our lives have been, like, we are not free from challenges. We're not free from heartache. We're not free from, yet we're better together because we realize that that opportunity to learn from and to see someone where we've been, where we want to go, like, there's nothing greater than understanding our own, like you said, like, the gifts and talents were meant to shine. And that is, there's a celebration, not just for us, but when we see, like, when Karen, she sent a message about painting her garage, and I was like, share it. And she's like, really? I'm like, do you understand how many of us have stuff that we need to do on around our house? Like, yes, like, you made a plan and you did it, and you're like, ta-da! And even if it was writing a check to somebody who did it, ta-da, it's done. Like, how many of us have those things that are haunting us in a way because it's like, do it. And you're like, ugh. And then when somebody else does it, you're like, I'm gonna freaking do this. I'm gonna do this. It was like the same thing. Like, I had opened the book and then set it down, and then Tam was like, next. And I was like, oh my gosh. And now I have to be more intentional because I realized how lazy I've gotten with the physical book because I've done so much Audible. And there's something treasured about, like, now I have all these highlights and like all these like little markers, like, oh, I've got to go back to that part. And you know what I mean? Like, there's something special about taking that time, and the example I have for my kids because I'm a broken
Yes, Mama.
record. Right,
I'm going to tell you, when I got that book, I could not put it down. I read the whole thing. It took me hours, but I'm like, I'm finishing it. There was so many, I mean, I'm just glad I was like blown
I'm
away.
on chapter 10. I'm on chapter 10, so I'm
It's,
almost
it,
there.
it's, yeah. So I know about
Oh,
highlights. Yeah.
awesome.
So, we're here to help each other and to create a better world, make
Mhm.
impact. And ladies, we're doing it. So
we
And
are.
Well, only just begun.
your whole model is filling up your cup first, and I think that that's the basis of being this person who can give, right? Because you only give what's inside of you. So you supporting others to be like fully in there, taking care of themselves and making themselves their own VIP, then it's so natural that you come into this group and you can see each other's specialities, and you can celebrate other people's wins because from inside you feel so full,
Mhm.
and supported. So it's such a beautiful concept and thing you've created, and I love it. Thank you
I
for
know.
sharing.
I mean,
Well
it's so
said.
different. It's so different, but it's so valuable to learn new things
Mhm.
and, different than society has taught us. So it's the unconditioning where we're at in life. It's like, nope, don't do that. Don't. Here's some new tools. Let's go, ladies.
Let's get unstuck. Unstuck.
Letting go of the clutter. Like
Yes.
Maggie was.
All the levels. So
True.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So thank you, ladies, for being with us live and anyone who's here watching the replay. And if you were invited by one of our founders, please talk to them because they have a special link for you that you can get an entire month for free. Check us out. Get in, utilize all the gifts that we have for you. We have multiple courses, we have support, we have communication, we're loading home remedies, we're loading healthy recipes, all in a space. And the truest part, somebody asked me the other day, well, why didn't you just do this on Facebook? And it was such a good question because over the years, and most especially in the last 6 months, I have known so many women who have put something in a group in Facebook and just enormous amounts of resources and love and photos and communication. And then something happened and it just went
yeah, it was taken. It just
gone.
vanished.
Gone. My girlfriend's 13-year event planning business of photos and all sorts of memories that, never thinking it was going to go away. And it was a source of communication and all this, and it just gone. And so time and money and details had to be chosen to be able to go this direction to make sure it's a space that's safe. It's a place we can all go to. It does take a minute to get in. You don't have to get in the same way. One of our founders was like, do I have to do that whole steps? I'm like, no. Once you load the app, put it on the front page of, wherever you go or go in your computer so that it's easy. And I'll probably do a technical, little video. So hopefully it can be helpful. So if you're stuck, it's not you. We'll make sure that you get what you need. Yet we invite you one more time that we're open. Next Saturday morning, it'll be actually the first Saturday of every month will be available. So you can get to know the guides. You can get to know what we're doing. You can make sure that this feels like it's in alignment for you because we want only the best for you to be able to learn and grow. And you don't have to have a business. A number of women have created their own businesses and they're doing certain things, but you could be at home in a retirement place and loving life, and you might want to set some different kind of goals for yourself, whether it's relationships, it's health, it could be your wealth. And we have so many different resources, yet we want to celebrate you and be able to have that celebration, because my point was earlier when I had you close your eyes and look for a color. The whole point of that is that if you were to wake up tomorrow morning, being a Monday, and you thought to yourself, where am I going to find some wins today? It's almost like if I said to you, I want you to think of a fruit, any fruit, just not a banana. any fruit, any other fruit, not one that's yellow, not, just, it was so hard for you to not think of a banana. You're like, I'm going to think of an apple. And then the banana popped in when I gave you a color of yellow. And, it's hard. So when you think and you start your day like that with gratitude and saying, gosh, I wonder where my wins are going to come today. And then you end your day with, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful. And saying, gosh, where did I win today? I won when I chose to, what is it? And everybody's going to be a little bit different. And yet, if you are in a place where you're struggling to find those wins, we have some major places that we can let you know, like, hey, if you're working from home and you're feeling stiff, then set an alarm with yourself and either meditate and pray, stand up and do some squats. We have a warrior pose that we all talk about, but don't do it on video if you have pajama pants on or no pants. We did a call one time and everybody was like, don't ask us to stand up because we have fancy on the top and not fancy on the bottom. So regardless, we're here to support you and we want to raise you up wherever you are, whatever is happening. And we are looking for others who could really use that support so that you can feel that wind beneath your wings. So we thank you. Thank you, ladies. Appreciate you so much. You're the best. Love you, love you, love you.